Royalston has some of Massachusetts' finest landscapes, including its tallest single-drop waterfall, its longest cascade waterfall, several lakes and hikes, and one of my favorite places in the state, called The Ledges. Before I went to check it out, I thought I'd stroll through one of my favorite cemeteries in the state, in the nearby mill town of Athol. I'm in what has to be the most beautiful cemetery in central Massachusetts, Silver Lake Cemetery in Athol. It borders a beautiful lake down here, but it's on a really hilly landscape terrain. Lots of old gravestones of all different shapes and sizes. Thought this would be a perfect place to stop and enjoy some late November foliage. I'm down at kind of the western end of the cemetery, and it's adjacent to a beautiful park called Silver Lake, which is gorgeous. And it has a trail that goes around the entire side and a ball field right over here to the left. I'm not sure I'm gonna circumvent it. It looks like there's a campground over here, a lot of people out walking their dogs. I think I'm gonna keep walking through the cemetery. Tennis courts right there, that's kind of odd. I wanna go over that terraced hillside area. Take a look at how they terraced the land right here. I guess this is one way to bury bodies in a rocky, hilly terrain. You kind of dig into it. Getting the van has achieved one thing, that's for sure. I'm driving around a lot more than I used to. I'm exploring parts of Massachusetts that I never really explored. Right now, today, I'm doing Route 2A, which goes through all these old mill towns in central Massachusetts. Athol, Orange, and they're just beautiful. I love old towns like this. Royalston is just the next town north of Athol. It's like a miniature version of New Hampshire. Tons of trails, tons of lakes, tons of little hills. And it looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day to hike to Spirit Falls and a huge ravine that I wanna fly my drone in. It's called The Ledges. The trailhead for both Spirit Falls and The Ledges is called the Jacobs Hill Trail in Royalston. It connects to a vast trail system with the Tully River kind of going through this long ravine down here. And there's a Tully Trail, which you can theoretically walk all the way to another waterfall called Doan's Falls. Almost immediately out of the trailhead parking lot, you pass underneath some power lines. The topography of this trail is pretty interesting. Right after you leave the trailhead, you go through a pine forest, and I mean, there's nothing but pine here. No deciduous trees at all. I'm not really sure what causes this. I've encountered it a few times. I think the needles are just so acidic, it leaves a natural mulch that nothing else can grow. But yeah, if it weren't for these white blazes, I'd have no idea where the trail is. On my way to Spirit Falls and The Ledges, there is a little bushwhack trail. I mean, there's no trail, it's a bushwhack, to a little hill with a view. I'm gonna see if I can get a few shots from up there. Very beautiful view of the Tully River here at Jacobs Hill. The Tully River meanders through miles of wilderness. It's really rare to find undeveloped land like this left in Massachusetts. This place is really special. The sun is starting to come out, thankfully. The fog's lifting. Now I'm gonna go check out Spirit Falls and The Ledges. I'm approaching Spirit Falls, long cascade, and you can definitely hear it. So this is the top of Spirit Falls, which starts from this marshy brook up here. And even though this doesn't look like much, this is a long cascade that gets progressively steeper. It goes on for a long ways, like over a quarter of a mile. I'm gonna walk down it and see if we can see some more interesting parts. You can see what a beautiful area this is to camp in. The whole landscape around the Tully River in north central Mass it's gotta be one of the last wild places in Massachusetts. Just dozens of square miles, just untouched, undeveloped waterfalls, ledges, views, hiking trails. And right here we're getting to, I think, the steepest part of the cascade. I'm gonna keep talking as we get over it. You can see how it just keeps getting steeper and steeper and steeper. Ooh, I'm gonna fall as I do this, but yeah, here we go. Enough yapping. Time to go to the ledges. Goodbye, Spirit Falls. Catch you on the way back. There's Tully Lake in the distance. If I had more time, I would climb down all the way to the Tully River below. It is completely wild down there. No houses, no development anywhere in sight around here. It's so amazing. Like I said, this is one of the last wild places in Massachusetts. That hump right there is Tully Mountain. I can tell because I can see the ledges kind of near the top of it, which I've climbed up. I came here 4 or 5 years ago in the middle of winter. I flew my drone and got incredible footage of the valley below. I wish I still had that footage, but I lost it. But during that hike, I stupidly forgot to bring a headlamp, which I do from time to time, and my phone died. I had to hike all the way back to my car. My phone died like halfway through the hike back in the dark. Once I got to Spirit Falls, I had no light. I pretty much just winged it, and I made it. So this place has like a special memory for me. You know, crazy adventures, people think I'm crazy, but stuff like that is so exciting to me. And there is a bench here if you're so inclined to see sunset. Just keep in mind, hiking that trail in the dark is very, very precarious. I love this walk back. The Tully Trail, ladies and gentlemen. The only sign of civilization coming back on that Tully Trail is this utility line which runs through the area. I love power lines. Some people say they scar the landscape, but there tend to be trails that run underneath them, and they also provide a clearing in the woods, which gives you a nice view. There she is, my van. I have to admit, I still get nervous leaving my van at trailheads. You know, when I go off on my hiking, I'm afraid it's gonna get broken into or someone's gonna mess with it. But as we can see, the van is fine. I still have about an hour left before sunset, so I'm gonna drive down Route 2 westwards and try to end up at a really cool bridge. Tonight's chosen sunset spot on Route 2, the prettiest bridge and one of the prettiest landscapes in Massachusetts, the French King Bridge on Route 2. This bridge is made in an Art Deco style. It overlooks the Connecticut River. Here we go, a little less traffic. You can see the bridge overlooks the Connecticut River on both sides. One thing I don't like about this bridge is there's no walkway on the south side, which is the more scenic side. They only put a crosswalk or sidewalk on the north side. I don't know why. I climbed down underneath the bridge. There's actually a rope down here. I don't know if people swing into the river. It's a very steep ravine, but you can see it's a very cool spot underneath here. I thought about staying down here for sunset, but for one thing, it's steep. I could fall into the river. And for another, I'm worried about leaving my van up there unattended. There's an ominous sign about getting your vehicle towed after 30 minutes. And I actually have seen cars get towed from this parking lot at the end of the bridge, which kind of sucks. Why not do a little urban exploration while we're at it? I'm underneath the French King Bridge. There used to be really great graffiti down here, but I'm not seeing much now. I guess people just don't come down here much anymore, or they just kind of paint over it. There's some nice tag over here. The rest of the tags, not too impressive. I had a really good time exploring north central Mass today. Around Athol, Orange, Northfield. It's a part of the state that people just don't really explore for some reason. I guess there's no big cities nearby or anything. But a lot of great low-lying mountains, undisturbed wilderness. I really enjoyed that hike to Tully Mountain today. Spirit Falls is just a quiet place. I wonder if it's called Spirit Falls because you can feel spiritual? I don't really know. This seems like as good a spot as any to watch the sunset, listen to the traffic. It sounds like the waves as it goes by.